Hey there, everybody. My name is Melanie, and this is Kevin. We're here today as part of the Teacher Collective series for August 2022. In this Vinyasa sequence, we will be heading towards the peak pose of Warrior 3. Kevin is going to be helping me out with this sequence as I lead him through, and so we look forward to having you here today and practicing along. Let's go ahead and get started. Just find a comfortable seated position, wherever that may be. You can start in Sukhasana as we are seated. You might start in Virasana, seated up on a block. If you really need to, feel free to come onto your back or find any other position that you'd like to start in. Just place your hands onto your lap, and then sit up nice and tall and gently close your eyes from top to bottom. And then let's take a deep breath in together. And open the mouth and sigh it out. Take another deep breath in. Open the mouth and let it go. And now you can keep your mouth closed as you breathe in and out. And just take these first few moments to breathe deeply and to notice your breath, notice your body. Just notice anything that's coming up for you right here in this moment. And see if you can just heighten your sense of awareness, of where you are, of what's within. And we'll see if we can maintain this awareness as we move throughout this Vinyasa class. Let's begin to bow the chin down towards your heart, and then start to flicker open the eyes. Okay. So from here, we're going to get started, and we'll come into a tabletop position. So you can come to a tabletop with your hands on the ground, hands underneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. Just spread your fingers wide and evenly, and then press through the entirety of each hand. So really press through your fingertips, press down through the bases of each finger. And then we'll move through a few rounds of cow and cat. So as you inhale, lower your belly down, open up your chest and throat, and draw your shoulder blades towards one another. Look forward. Good. And then as you exhale, round your spine. So press the floor away, pull your front ribs in. Good. And then inhale, go ahead and come in through a cow pose. Draw your shoulder blades back and down. Good. And then as you exhale, round your back. Good. Tuck your tailbone. Good. Just move through a few more rounds on your own. Taking these first few moments right here, these first few flowing movements, just to connect your body with your breath and to move the spine in two different directions. And then over the next 2, 3, maybe 4 breaths, we'll work our way into a downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. There is no rush. So if you need an extra cow or an extra cat, take that. If you need a child's pose, take that. But again, eventually, we'll work our way to downward facing dog. So bring your hands forward a little bit. Yep. Feet go back, tuck your toes, and lift your hips. Good. Okay, so now go ahead and spread your feet. Good. Walk the feet a little bit wider. Good. And then bend your knees a little bit, and then lift your hips up and back. Good. Awesome. So as you can see, we have a nice long spine right there. Great job. Now from here, as you inhale, let's come in out to a plank. And as you exhale, lower your belly all the way down to the floor. Great job. As you inhale, come into a low cobra. So just lift from your sternum to your collarbones. Good. Draw your shoulder blades back and down, and then just look slightly ahead right here. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lay the heart forward and down. Let's come up and back, downward facing dog. Hip creases up and back. Good. Let's do that one more time, okay? Inhale, let's come on out to a plank. Exhale, slowly lower down to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest for a low cobra, again, from sternum to collarbones. Really extend through your feet right here. Breathe in, draw your shoulder blades back and down. Good. And then lay your heart forward and down, downward facing dog. Push yourself up and back. Good. Now, as you inhale, let's take the right leg high to the sky behind you, nice and slow with control. Good. Now, I want you to take your pinky toe and turn that pinky toe towards the floor. And as you do that, roll the inner thigh up towards the sky. Then, as you exhale, step that right foot in between your hands. Good. And then from here, just power up through this back thigh. So press that thigh up to the ceiling, and then come up to your fingertips. Knit those shoulder blades towards one another and just look slightly forward ahead of that mat. Good. Now straighten out your legs as much as you can and walk your hands and pivot your feet to your left for wide leg forward fold. You can bring your hands onto these blocks right here. I want you to see right here if you can lift and fan your toes. Good. So see if you can lift the toes up. Good. And then press down the four corners of each foot. So you have base of big toe, base of pinky toe, outer heel, and inner heel. So press all of those corners down to the ground on each foot. Roll your inner thighs towards the back of the room and lift those hip creases up and back. Now, walk your hands or your blocks back to the front of the room. Come into a low lunge. Your hands or blocks could frame that front foot. Take the right arm up to the sky for a low lunge twist. Really lean into the upper back right here. Breathe in. And then exhale, take that right hand down to the ground. Now I want you to power up through your lower body. So energetically squeeze those legs together and swing those arms forward. See if you can just lift the belly off your thigh just a little bit. Yeah, nice long spine right here. Great job. Breathe in. Exhale, take your hands down to the ground. You can move your blocks out of the way. And then step back, downward facing dog. Inhale as you come on out to a plank pose. And as you exhale, lower yourself down to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest for a cobra, maybe a little bit higher this time. Good. And then lay your heart down to the ground, all the way down. Let's come on up and back, downward facing dog. Now inhale, lift your left leg nice and high to the sky. Now same thing right here, okay? When we lift that leg up, do so with a lot of consciousness. Pinky toe towards the floor, inner thigh towards the sky. Good, breathe in. Exhale, go ahead and step that left foot in between your hands, no matter how many steps that takes. And then straighten out your legs as much as you can manage, and then walk your hands and pivot your feet to the right side of the room. Wide leg, forward fold. Good. And then see if you can lift and fan your toes and press your thigh bones back, back, back. Good. And breathe. All right. Walk your hands and pivot your feet to the front of the room. Low lunge. Frame your front foot with your hands. Take your left hand high to the sky. You can actually lift this back knee off the floor. Good. Breathe in, and then exhale, place your left hand down to the ground. Now power up through those legs, and let's take those arms forward. Pull your front ribs up and in, and reach through those fingertips. Good, and then place your hands down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come on out to plank. As you exhale, lower the belly all the way down to the ground. Good. You can leave your legs on the floor as you come into a cobra. And then downward facing dog. Good. All right. And now take small steps up to the top of your mat. Once you get to the top, just be in a forward fold. So you can bend your knees and really let your head relax towards the floor. Good. And then as you inhale, let's circle those arms up to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana, stand up tall. Good. And then lower the arms alongside your body for Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. You can have your palms facing in towards your thighs, and then just line your middle fingers up with the center of your thigh. All right, lift and fan your toes right here, please. And then, firm up the quads. So press your quads back And at the same time, I want you to find an ever so slight tuck of your sacrum forward. Good. All right. So let's get going with these sun salutations. As you inhale, let's reach those arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, right foot to the back of your mat, low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, out to plank pose. Exhale, either chaturanga or all the way to the floor. Good. Inhale through an upward facing dog or cobra. So up dog, thighs are up. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice up dog. Inhale, bring your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot through in between your hands. As you inhale, reach those arms forwards towards the front of the space. Exhale, lower your hands down, step forward, forward fold at the top. Inhale, circle the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot to the back of your mat, low lunge. Exhale it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, as you come on out to plank. Exhale, again, either chaturanga halfway or all the way down. Inhale for an up dog or cobra. Again, up dog, those thighs are way lifted. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left leg up to the sky. Think inner thigh to the sky. Exhale, step that left foot through in between your hands. As you inhale, sweep those arms forwards to the front of the room. And as you exhale, place the hands down, forward fold at the top. Inhale, take the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, right foot to the back of your mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in as you come in out to a plank pose. Breathe out, either chaturanga or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, take that right leg nice and high to the sky. As you exhale, step the right foot through in between your hands. Inhale, sweep those arms forwards to the front of the room. Good. Exhale, place your hands down, step forward, forward fold at the top. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot to the back of your mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, either all the way down or halfway down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, sweep those arms forwards towards the front of the room. Exhale, place your hands down, step forward to forward fold at the top. Inhale, reach your arms high to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, right foot to the back of your mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now breathe in as you move out to plank. Breathe out, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Come through that back bend. Exhale into downward facing dog. Now stay in downward facing dog. Let's take a breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Now bring your big toes to touch. Walk them up about an inch or two, hips high. Inhale, bend your knees, look between your thumbs. And at the bottom of your exhale, hop, walk, or step the feet up. Nice. Inhale, arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot to the back, low lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, out to a plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale for up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's all take a breath right here. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your big toes together. Walk them up about an inch or so. Inhale, bend your knees, look between your thumbs. At the bottom of your exhale, travel to the top. Hop, walk, or step. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Now listen for the change. Arms alongside your body for Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and out. Good. Okay, now draw your feet together. And then let's come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So bend your knees and then sweep the arms up to the sky. And then we'll take a deep breath in, fold forward, breath out. Now, as you inhale, lift your chest up halfway. And as you exhale, you can bend your knees and plant your palms. Hop, walk, or step back to lower yourself to the floor. Good. Or come right to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Good. All right, so let's start to build our standing sequence here, okay? So inhale, bring your right leg up to the sky. Again, lifting that leg with a lot of awareness and a lot of consciousness. Good. Now, step your right foot in between your hands, straighten your legs, and then pivot to your left, wide leg forward fold. So press the roots of your thigh bones back as you lift and fan the toes. Good. Now press your feet down into the ground, bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, circle your arms up to the sky. Good. And then to the front of your mat, warrior two. Open up the right hip and the right toes as you wing those arms out. Great job. Good, and then just widen this knee ever so slightly. Good. Okay, now from here, as you breathe in, straighten out your right leg. And as you breathe out, bring your right hand down onto your shin and your left hand nice and high to the sky. Good. Really keep firming your quads so that those legs can stay nice and firm and active. Take a deep breath in. And then look down to that right foot. Slowly, we're gonna bring those hands down to the ground, spin your left heel up to the sky, and as you do that, draw that outer right hip crease back. Right arm up to the ceiling for a low lunge twist. Take a deep breath. Great, and then lower the right hand down to the floor and step it back, downward facing dog. Option here if you want to take it through a vinyasa or stay in down dog. So the vinyasa would be inhale out to plank, exhale chaturanga or all the way down, inhale through a back bend, up dog or cobra, and then exhale into downward facing dog. So I'll say in between sides, option to take a vinyasa. If you wish to take it, absolutely go ahead. If not, you'll just leave it. So now let's inhale, lift your left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, step your left foot through in between your hands. Straighten your legs and then walk your hands, pivot your feet to your right, wide leg forward fold. So as you bring those hands down to the ground, see if you can lift and fan those toes, firm up your quads, and then press them back. Good. Now, again, you might have to bend your knees to do this, maybe not, but I want you to inhale, reach those arms up to the sky for flying warrior. So you come all the way up like you're making a big X with your body, and then to the front of your mat, warrior two, open up the left hip and the left toes. Bend into your left knee. Good. Now, take a breath in, straighten out your left leg, and as you exhale, bring your left hand down to your shin and the right hand high to the sky. Good. Keep these quads nice and active. Great. Breathe in. Now, as you exhale, look down to your left foot and come into a low lunge. So hands down, spin your right heel up to the sky, hands down to the floor. Good. And then you'll notice that rotation of the hips that has to happen. Left hip back, right hip will wrap forward from that open hip pose. Then left hand up to the sky for a low lunge twist. Good. Breathe in. And then place your left hand down to the ground, coming through that lunge, downward facing dog. Again, option for your vinyasa, option to remain in downward facing dog. Okay, we'll move through this standing sequence, this particular standing sequence, just one more time. Inhale, sweep your right leg up to the sky. Again, sense of inner thigh rolling up. Great, and then step your right foot in between your hands. Straighten out your legs as much as you can manage, and then walk your hands and pivot your feet to your left, wide leg forward fold. Again, lift and fan your toes, lift your kneecaps up, and then press your thigh bones back. Now inhale, flying warrior. Let's rise up, circle those arms way up to the sky, and then to the front of your mat, we're going into warrior 2. Open up the right hip and the right toes. Good. See if you can take these toes a little bit more open, even if you feel like you have to. Good. All right, now from here, let's inhale, straighten out the right leg. Come into triangle as you exhale. Right hand down to your shin, left arm up to the sky. And now we're gonna come into half moon, okay? So I'd like you to take your gaze down to your right foot. Bring your left hand on top of your left hip. Bend into your right knee and reach your hand towards that block. We're gonna come onto one leg right here and reach those that left foot towards the back of the space. Good. For this one, those toes are gonna be open towards the windows at the front of the room. Good. And then take this left arm up to the sky. Good, and lean back into me. Good, and then look towards the windows perhaps. Really nice. And then maybe up to the sky. Good. One more breath. And then low lunge, so take this right hip back, hands down to the floor. Good, leg down. Right arm up to the sky for a low lunge twist. Good. Lower that right hand down, and then let's step it back, downward facing dog. Option for a vinyasa, option to stay in down dog. And you know, I should have said this at the beginning of class as well, but just keep in mind that child's pose is always something that is available to you throughout this class. All right, again, one more time for this sequence on the left side. So let's inhale, left leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, step your left foot through in between your hands. Now, straighten out your legs, walk your hands, pivot your feet to the right. Lift and fan those toes, really activate the fronts of your thighs. Press them back as your head goes down. And then as you breathe in, flying warrior, let's rise up, circle those arms up to the ceiling, to the front of your mat, warrior 2. Open up the left hip and the left toes, and then bend into that left knee. Great job. With this back leg, I want everyone to keep in mind, right? And you can see Kevin is doing it right here, right? This leg is really straight, and this quad is gonna stay active as we straighten this back leg out. Okay, we're gonna keep that. Inhale, straighten your left leg. And as you exhale, bring the left hand down to your shin and your right hand up to the sky for triangle pose. Again, same thing here. Now we want to keep that front thigh nice and active. Okay, so keep pressing this thigh bone back. Good. And then keep lifting this kneecap up by firing up that quad. Okay, now everyone from here, we're taking the right hand down to your hip. So right hand to this hip. Look down, and then we'll come into half moon from here. So now bend into this left knee. Take that left hand forward. Good. And so our half moon is an open hip pose. So now bring this arm up to the sky. Really lean into me. So everyone at home, I want you to think about firming your left hip underneath your right hip. Flex and spread those back toes right there. Yes. Kevin is really good at spreading his toes. Breathe in. And then low lunge, breathe out. Soften your left leg, hands to the floor. Good. Left hand up to the sky. Low lunge twist. Good. And then let's bring that left hand down to the ground and step it back, downward facing dog. Option for a vinyasa. Option to remain in downward dog, or again, child's pose, or if there's some other variation or position that you're seeking in between sides, honor that and take that. Okay, so now let's switch gears a little bit. As you inhale, let's take the right leg up to the sky. Again, same sense of awareness, lifting that nice firm leg up. And then now step the right foot through for a warrior 1. Okay, so that back foot is now down at 45 degrees. You might have to bring it in a little bit, and then take your arms up to the sky. Good. Can you move that back foot in a smidge more, towards your left foot? Shorten the stance a little bit? Yeah. Good. So now, even though this back foot is down, I still want you to think about spinning this inner thigh back towards me like this. Good. And then everyone, ever so slightly, draw the outer right hip back so that your belly button can face more or less forward. It won't be perfect, and that's okay. Okay. Now, let's take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, everyone, take your hands down to the ground around your right foot, spin your left heel up to the sky, and maybe use blocks for this. One block there and one block there. And then keep that back heel lifted up. Just straighten out your right leg as much as you can, and think about drawing this right hip crease back. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more breath, and then re-bend into that right knee. Place this left knee down to the floor, and then reach the arms up to the sky for crescent lunge. You could keep these toes as they are or point them on the mat. Good. And then from here, let's bring the right hand on top of your right thigh. Hinge forward a little bit like we did at the beginning, and then push on your leg and turn to the right. Hook your left elbow to the outside of your thigh, and then draw your palms together in front of your heart, and then spread your elbows. Good, and then either stay right here, or you can power up through this back foot and lift this thigh up to the sky. Great. Breathe in and breathe out. Really think about turning your belly from left to right. One more breath. And then exhale, slowly come out, hands down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Option for vinyasa, option to stay in down dog. Good. Now inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Good. Step your left foot through in between your hands. Warrior one. Okay, so you might have to, again, exactly, like that little move right there. Good. So again, we're looking for the same things right here. Really try to press down the all four corners of each foot, but especially that back foot. Sometimes some of those corners tend to get lifted. And then ever so slightly, think about drawing the left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. Again, we're going more or less for squared hips, but most likely like that won't happen in anyone all the way. Good. And then press your shin into my hand. So bend, good, right there. All right. Now from here, take a deep breath and then lower your hands down to these blocks. Lift that right heel up to the sky and then just straighten this left leg as much as you can manage. Good, 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 good. And then take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. We'll just be here for a few breaths, okay? So again, everyone, as you straighten that left leg, again, just as much as you can in this moment, I want you to think about drawing that left hip back, almost drawing that left heel back, like almost like that foot was stuck in mud, but if it wasn't, the foot would go back. Good. We'll take one more breath, and then deeply bend into your left knee. Place the right knee down to the floor, and then let's take arms up to the sky for a crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Everyone, that back foot could either, the toes could stay tucked or the toes could lengthen out. And now let's bring that left hand onto your left thigh. Hinge forward, reach through that right side, and then twist to your left. Hook the elbow to the outside of your thigh and draw your palms together right at your heart center. Breathe in. And then if you so choose, perhaps that back knee will lift off the floor. Good. One more breath. And then exhale, place the hands down to the ground. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and step it back. Option for a vinyasa. Again, option to stay. Okay. Now, bring your big toes together. Walk them up a little bit. Inhale, bend your knees, look between your thumbs, and then at the bottom of your exhale, you can hop, walk, or step the feet forward. Good. Halfway lift when you get there, so lift your chest, and then exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach the arms nice and high to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, and then arms alongside your body for Tadasana, mountain pose. So now, keep your feet exactly where you are. For those of you at home, okay, you could bring your feet together or have the feet just with a few inches in between, so feet beneath your hips, okay? Now lift and fan your toes, and then I want you to see if you can really activate those thighs. Yeah, activate the thighs so that your legs can be really strong and firm. And we're gonna keep the right foot right where it is. We'll come into tree pose on the left side. So come to the ball of your left foot. Good. And then externally rotate from your hip down to your toes. Good, so that your heel is resting on the inner ankle. Good. Now, you could be here for a tree, or you'll lift that foot up so it's like the arch of your foot is almost like perfectly connecting to the calf. Or you can reach down, grab your foot, and help your foot get up to the inner thigh. Wherever you land, bring your hands together at your heart. Good. And then from there, let's take those arms up to the sky. Good. Nice deep breath in and out. Think outer right hip in. So foot to leg, and then leg into your foot. Good. Okay. Now, bring your left knee forward, remove the foot from your leg. Okay, now we're gonna shoot this leg back as the chest comes forward and right into a low lunge. So again, leg back, chest forward, hands hit the floor. Good. Lower the back knee down to the ground. And then for this one, we're gonna slide the hips back and come into a half split and straighten out your front leg. Good, yep, and then if you guys at home could see, he kind of released the heel forward, right? So some of you might have to do that as well. And then while you're looking at your foot right here, I want you to flex or bring the toes towards your shin, and then see if you can spread those toes out. Good, and then reach through the inner arch of that foot like you're trying to lengthen the inner leg forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. One more breath. And now bend into your right knee, bring your hands to the blocks, and step forward. Left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, and then arms alongside your body for Tadasana. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Okay. So now let's move into tree on the other side, all right? So if you're at home and you wanna, redo all that foundation, lift and fan the toes, feel the four corners of each foot on the floor, firm up those quads, do that, okay? And then come to the ball of your right foot, or I should say, come to the front of your right foot. And then externally rotate your right leg from your hip to your toes. So I want you to take those toes towards the side wall as much as you can. And then from here, you could either stay, you could move the foot up right to your calf. Good. Some of you might choose to move your foot up to the inner thigh. And then wherever that foot is, I want you to press the foot into your leg, but at the same time, leg into your foot. Okay, so you're meeting right in the midline. Your hands could meet at your heart. And then from there, hands could go up to the sky. Good. Separate your hands, actually. Yeah, and reach up. Yeah. Good. I want you to reach up and then bring those arms back any amount. Breathe in. Okay, now bring your right knee forward, remove the foot from your leg, be there for a second, and then leg back, heart forward. You're gonna shoot that right leg back, come into a low lunge. Heart forward, heart forward, heart forward. Good, yep, tap the back knee down to the floor, and then slide the hips back and extend your left leg. And so I encourage you guys to either have your hands on the floor or use your blocks on either side of the leg. And then lift the front of your foot so that you dig your heel into the ground and then spread those toes. Spread, yeah. Good. And then I want you to like reach the ball of your foot forward. Good. Everybody take a deep breath in and out. One more breath. Okay, now bend into your left knee. Bring your hands to your blocks, and then step that right foot up to meet your left foot, forward fold at the top. Inhale, let's reach those arms nice and high to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, and then arms alongside your body for Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and out. Great job. Okay, so can I actually switch spots with you for a moment? All right, everybody. So we're gonna head from chair into warrior 3. So I'm gonna demo first, and then I will guide Kevin through it, and you guys will have him to practice along with, okay? There's just some things that I wanna be able to point out that are specific to this class. There's 1,000,001 things that you could focus on in warrior 3, but today we are paying special attention to the feet and to the lower body, okay? So I'll talk about those things as I demo this pose, all right? So we're gonna bend the knees and reach the arms up to the sky. Now, when you reach these arms up, I want you to think about reaching from the side of your waist and not just reaching the arm up. Like, think about extending through the sides of your body. Then from here, we're gonna stand on the right leg. We're gonna extend the left leg back behind us, okay? So watch, I'm gonna lift my left leg up, get nice and light right there, and then I'm gonna start to hinge at my right hip as I start to press my left foot towards the back of the room, okay? Now, of course, I have my arms down, which is making this just a little bit easier, not by much though. I wanna talk about the lower body for a moment, okay? So this will not be the same for everybody. I'm gonna talk about the ideal version of Warrior 3, and whether you're in that ideal version, we're gonna talk about the essence of the posture, okay? So with this bottom leg, I want you to think about pressing through all 4 corners of that foot, right? Think about that solid foundation. With your thigh, firm up your quads so that you can really try to straighten out the leg without jamming into the knee. Okay. The back leg, I want you to think about internally rotating this back thigh. So think inseam of your pants or inner thigh up towards the sky. That will naturally bring the pinky down, and that will naturally lower that left hip down. Last thing right here, I want you to pull the right hip back as you kind of wrap that left hip forward. From there, arms forward, reach through your foot as you reach through those fingertips. It's been a long time on one leg. I'm really sweating here. And then from here, we're just gonna come into Tadasana. And then we'll do that all on the other side. We'll move through it a little bit quicker. We're not gonna move as slow on that one leg, but unless you wanna be there for that long, okay? All right, so here we go, everyone. Let's come towards the top of the mat, okay? And then let's begin in chair pose. So bend your knees and reach those arms up to the sky. So there's a million ways you could enter into Warrior 3, obviously. Want to start with bent knees so you can have the feeling of really pressing the floor away, okay? So let's start to get light on that left foot. Start to hinge forward, and then think heart forward, left leg back for Warrior 3. Good. And then breathe, right? Right leg can be bent as you bring your torso parallel to the floor, or at least going in that direction. Flex and spread these back toes. Good. See if you can lift that leg just a little bit higher. Left leg. Yeah, great job. Reach through your fingertips as you reach through this back foot. Everybody, one more breath. And then lower your left foot next to your right foot, arms by your side, mountain pose. Take a couple breaths right here, both feet on the floor. Might notice difference in the sides of your body. And then we'll come in on the other side, okay? So Let's come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your knees and reach your arms up from your side waist. Good, now get light in your right foot, light in the right. And then take your chest forward and extend your right leg. Back, back, back. Good. Flex and spread these back toes, and then think about reaching the inner line of your leg back. Think other way. Yeah. Lift your right thigh up as you take your chest forward, forward, forward. Everyone reach from your fingertips to your toes. One more breath. And then Tadasana, bring your right foot next to your left, arms by your side. Awesome job. And just take a couple breaths. Okay. So now let's move these blocks out of the way. And then at the top of your mat, widen out your feet. And then let's find a little external rotation from the hips to the toes, just a little bit though. And then we're gonna come into a nice low yogi squat, okay? So widen out your knees as you start to sink your pelvis down, any amount. If you can come all the way down, come all the way down. Good, and then bring your hands to your heart. Good, and then take your arms on the insides of your knees. And then use your elbows to press your knees out, but also like use the muscles in your legs to widen those legs. And then what I want you to do is like pinch your shoulder blades towards one another and upright yourself. Good. And let's just take one more deep breath in. And then you can use your hands almost like you're gonna crab walk your way back. Use your hands behind you and then lower your seat down onto the ground. Good. And then from here, just bring your feet, you can bring your feet parallel to each other now, bring your arms forward, and then slowly lower your back down to the floor. Good. Bring your arms alongside your body, and take a nice deep breath in and out. Good. Now bend your knees a little bit more, bring your heels beneath your knees, a little bit more. 1.5 step more. Good. And then we're gonna come into a supported bridge. And you can actually widen your feet a little bit. Good. Okay, so we're just gonna lift the hips up and then you'll place this block beneath your sacrum. Okay, so everybody lift the hips up and you might have to adjust this, okay? But then lower your pelvis down. Again, just trying to get that block beneath the sacrum. And then just allow yourself to be right here. We've had a pretty active class, and so give yourself this opportunity in this back bend to be supported. You might close your eyes. Can just soften into the ground and into the block. Just notice your body from your toes, to your fingers, to your chest, to your jaw, to your eyelids, your head, and just breathe. Again, notice the shift in the practice even from what we were doing moments ago to where we are right here. And you can notice how your own energy fits into that shift. And some of you might have already done this intuitively, but if you can right here, just begin to deepen your breath as you breathe in and out. We'll just take about 2 to 3 more breaths here. And then after that third breath, and if you feel like I'm rushing you, do your thing. But I'm gonna guide us towards lifting the hips up, so you can lift up your hips and remove the block. I have the block out there, and then just lower your hips down onto the floor. Now, take your feet to about mat width distance, and then let your knees just knock in against one another and just be there for a couple breaths. Again, just start to let yourself slow it down right here. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Just let your knees fall one direction and let your knees fall in the other direction. And now we'll take a supine twist. So bring your legs together. Bring your feet together as well. And then from here, just lift up your hips a little bit. And then sort of shimmy your hips over towards the right side of the space and let your knees come towards the left side of the space, so towards the windows. And then you might have to kind of shift your shoulders a little bit if you feel like your left shoulder's caught up. And then tee out your arms or cactus your arms or do anything that feels good for your chest. And you can either keep your gaze up towards the sky or perhaps you take your gaze over your right shoulder. And take a deep breath in and out. Again, breathe in and breathe out. And we'll just take one more breath here. And then bring your knees slowly up and over. You can do it one by one or both at the same time if that's okay for your body. And then let's go the other way. Okay, so shift your hips the other way. Knees right and gaze left. Breathe in and breathe out. One more breath. Let's bring the knees up through center. Good. And then from here, hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And then feel free to rock a little bit from side to side. Good. And now take your knees, one in either hand. Well, actually, they're already there. But if you don't have them, one knee in either hand at home, do that. And then from here, just draw your knees wide towards your armpits like you're in child's pose on your back. And then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just gently engage your thighs in towards your torso. Either stay right here, or you can come up into a happy baby as you flip the soles of your feet towards the sky. Maybe your arms along the inside of the inner knees, grab the feet. You might also opt to take an easy baby, grab onto the ankles with the soles of the feet to the sky. Wherever you land, just land. Nice deep breath in and out. And we'll just take one more breath. And then when you feel ready, you can release into your final pose of Shavasana. Just release your legs. Allow your legs to extend long towards the front of the room. Your hands could either rest on your belly, they could rest alongside your body, maybe out to the sides. Do you want anything underneath your head? Okay. And then wherever you land, just go ahead and land. And so in this moment, in Shavasana, there's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to position ourselves in. There's nothing left to think our way into. All we have to do right here is just land and observe. Observe what comes up. Observe what might be present. And we'll just be here for a few minutes. And so just do the best you can, and I'll guide you out when it's time. So now can just begin to deepen your breath. Start to take small movements back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And maybe drop your head from side to side. And nice and slow, you can start to introduce some larger movements into the body, maybe a full body stretch or hugging the knees to your chest or whatever it may be. And then when you feel ready, roll over onto one side, your right side or your left side, wherever you feel more intuitively drawn to. Just pausing for a moment in that fetal position, just almost like you are gathering yourself up before you pick yourself back up. And then nice and slow, you can press your hands down into the ground and push yourself up to a tall seat, maybe starting in the same position as when you got started. And then everybody, either keep your hands onto your lap or perhaps bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow the chin down towards your own heart, either just softening your gaze or perhaps closing off the eyes. Just take a moment right here at the end of your practice to just check in with yourself, to notice what's present within and outside. And then we'll seal up this class with a breath together. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. You can open up your eyes and lift your gaze. Thank you so much for joining us here today at YogaRenew. Again, my name is Melanie. This is Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. And we hope to see you on your mat very soon. Enjoy.